I started playing video games when I was about 3 years old. My parents got a console for my sister and I that was called the V-Smile. It was some tech from the mid-2000s that only offered a select few amount of video games, but I loved it. Unfortunately, that was quite short-lived. However, my passion for gaming had only just begun. Throughout the rest of my childhood, I would go on to get addicted to games like Mario Kart, Minecraft, or Forza, and eventually Geometry Dash. Now I'm 20, going on 21, and I wanted to turn this passion into my job. So I've got the motivation, I've got the skills. The last thing that I needed was the right equipment to turn this dream into a reality. So, introducing my new setup. And just a disclaimer before we do start, I just want to clarify, I'm not showing any of this to flex or show that you need to get an insane setup to have a YouTube channel or anything. You don't. Whatever you have right now is enough to get started. And honestly, I don't need all of this. The only reason that I'm showing you guys all of this is because I've always wanted to take you guys on this journey as well. The only reason that I'm here right now is because of you guys. So I want to introduce this new chapter to the channel and to my work ethic with you. I don't want to make it seem like you need to go get a crazy expensive setup or that I'm flexing or anything like that. You don't. You can get started with wherever you're at right now. And honestly, I don't need all of this. So hopefully you guys still enjoy. I just wanted to clarify that before we get into it, but yeah. To start off, I have a Powerspec G901 gaming PC running an RTX 3080 Ti graphics card and an AMD Ryzen 9 5900X 3.7 GHz processor. Moving forward, we have the Finge height adjustable standing desk, which is 55 inches wide and came with a free monitor stand that I now use to hold my water and peripherals. I then have my two Asus monitors, both coming in at 27 inches, 1440p, and 170 Hz. This is not necessary, but for the sake of cleanliness and extra table space, I also purchased a dual monitor arm with built-in cable management. This made setting up the whole thing and making it look nice a lot easier, so if you have the extra cash, I would definitely suggest getting this. Getting into my sound system though, my audio interface is a Focusrite Scarlett 2i2 given to me by my dad. It is quite old, but it works amazingly. I then have a Shure SM7B, also given to me by my dad, which is an old reliable when it comes to microphones, honestly. I know a lot of people that like to use this. It's very good quality, as you guys can tell. And lastly, it's connected to a Frameworks boom arm that has a built-in XLR cable, which is actually really nice. Sadly, the opposite end of the cable though is quite long, which I don't personally need, so I just have it tucked underneath the monitor stand so I can keep a clean look for the setup. The headphones that I wear are the SteelSeries Arctis 7 Wireless Edition. However, for the sake of latency in rhythm games that I play, I've opted to use it wired instead. It's a lot better with the response times. On the visual side of things, I am using a Canon EOS Rebel T7 DSLR camera, which for photography is a great beginner's camera. However, for YouTube usage, I would not suggest getting this personally. The quality is only decent. The idle shuts itself off after maybe 20 minutes or so streaming is a pain, and I also have to crop my face cam a ton because there's no setting to just get rid of the UI completely. But I digress. To use the camera in OBS, I also have an Elgato Cam Link, of course, and the camera itself is anchored to a Razer ring light. That's a really nice upgrade from the last ring light that I had. Now that we've got all the big stuff out of the way, let's move on to some of these smaller but cooler peripherals. Firstly, we have the Grovemade custom wool desk pad. Atop of it, we have a 10 keyless HyperX Alloy Origins keyboard. However, I did remove the original keycaps that came with the keyboard, replacing them with two sets of keycaps that I purchased from K-Republic. I also replaced the USB-C cord that connects the keyboard, choosing a coiled cord instead, as it's a lot cleaner, I think. I then have a classy G502 Logitech mouse, funnily enough coming with a small size SteelSeries mouse pad underneath. Personally, I don't use my mouse all that often, so just going with something that was really reliable and high quality was a good choice for me. So on my monitor stand, I have a Belkin wireless charging station. I usually set my AirPods or phone here when streaming. And lastly, I do play Osu, which is a fun aim-based rhythm game. So I do have a Wacom Intuos S here for when I decide to regress and click circles for a few hours straight. Very fun, I promise. It's a fun game. You should play Osu game. Everyone, go download Osu game. I don't really care. And lastly, for the entire setup, I have my chair, which is just a pretty average gaming chair from a local store in my area. Also, as a side note, I do have my PlayStation 5, which I only included because it was a part of my old setup that was in my room. It's not a part of the setup at the moment. The only reason it's not is because I haven't found a good place to put it. So I did include it in the price because it's not here now, but eventually it will be. And that's it. So in total, this whole setup comes out to around $6,648, give or take, which is insane to think about. But I'm extremely grateful that I'm in a position where I can do something like this for myself. It will only motivate me more to make better content for you guys, because at the end of the day, that's what this is all about. Now, if you want to be a content creator yourself, trust me, you don't need all of this, I promise. Being a good content creator is so much more about yourself and the products that you make rather than the hardware or software that are behind the scenes. It doesn't matter, I promise. Where you are right now is enough to get started. After all, I was once a kid just playing on his phone. For the first 3 years of me having this channel, that's all that this was. And that garnered from me upwards of 2,000 subscribers, which is insane. And on the topic, by the way, thank you guys so much for 4,000 subscribers. That was a goal that I set for myself by the end of this year. And it's November, the beginning of November, and you guys crushed it. I'm speechless. I really want to take this channel far, and I'm so excited to go further and further to new depths with you guys. So stick by, and I hope it's a fun ride.